what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine. You know, it's kind of how she functions. And so, you know, I say this on tape and I say this in front of you. I could honestly, like, you can get mad at me all you fucking want. You can do nothing more to me. You can't do anything else to me. Okay? What are you going to do? You could send me to the Chateau d'If. You could lock me in a dungeon for fucking 5,000 lifetimes. I'm not going to live forever. Okay? My soul is prepared. You've already done everything you can do. You took my son from me. 20 fucking years. He has you've erased me from his memory. And then supplemented that with lie upon spit, upon poison and venom. You know, I'm commanded to forgive you. And so, like, you know, I'm not asking for your incarceration or anything like that. I'm not asking for an investigation for you to, you know, go and, face 25 to life for kidnapping charges, because that's what happens with kidnapping charges. No. So, I forgive you. I think that you were easily influenced by a lifetime of living in a satanic type of environment where there is no holiness, there is no gospel. Okay? You live in a world where you don't believe in Jesus, you don't believe in God, you don't believe in the universe. I'm going to ask you this here. Let me go back to this other little story about Daniel. Okay? When they were on their way out to go see Nebuchadnezzar, I don't want you just thinking I'm preaching Bible thumping right now. But when Nebuchadnezzar, and Arioch was going off to go kill all the wise men, he comes up, knocks up on Daniel's door. He says, "Hey, buddy, like, I hate to do it. I got to kill you," all that kind of stuff. And he says, "What's this all about?" And he lays it out for him. He says, Arioch says, the captain's guard, he says, "You know what? These king had a dream, and the boss is pissed because these guys are fake, and he's not happy, and he's got you on a list because you're in that qualification category." And he says, "Oh yeah," he says, no, time out. He says, we're not shaman soothsayers. He says, "We believe in the one true God." He says, remember, he says they were captured in Jerusalem, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, okay? Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, or Belteshazzar, was his new given name, okay? But I don't have anything written down. I'm pulling from memory, so if I mispronounce something, I apologize. So I'm kind of stuttering. I'm getting really kind of tired here right now, but I really want to finish the main points of what I'm trying to get to here, which is why I keep having to look at the sound meters, because I'm drifting. My mind is tired. I'm exhausted, and I'm gonna have to wrap this tape up soon because I'm running out of steam. What was I talking about? You can't do anything more to me. You have the ability to tell the truth. I don't think you've been that corrupted yet. My mother, the woman that gave birth to me, because she's not my mother. My great-grandmother is my mother. My son's great-great-grandmother is my mother. Do you understand? The woman that gave birth to me is as much my mother as someone that set me out for adoption on a fucking, ended up in a foster home. You know what I mean? That was abandonment. Okay? And so you stole my son from me and then tell him that I abandoned him. That's not even arithmetically correct. That in itself is these are the things that you need to correct. You need to go back and clear up and put some fucking truth back on the board. Okay? I've been on here for 11 hours. I can't read much more than that, but I can make out the 11. Okay? 4? 1164? That doesn't make sense. I can't read without my glasses. My eyes are burnt. Okay? I'm going blind. Okay? And so I just I spent 20 years trying to find my son. I scoured this internet, okay? But you don't believe in God, and you don't believe in Jesus. You're living with a man who's a Catholic, so you've got my son living in a house that is by a person who worships Satan. That's what Catholics are, but they don't realize it. They think that they worship Jesus, but they go to worship the Pope, St. Peter's Square. Not St. Peter's Square, but when they come through and there's Mass, they have Black Mass. Black Mass, where they worship Lucifer. Okay? Well, if you're with a guy who's Filipino, if he's anywhere near his, family, he must know some Latin, okay? Because he's, more than likely, and again, I can say these because of like, more than likely, he's got 3 kids when you showed up with my son, and then had a kid with him. A Viking woman with no Greek blood has a child after she kidnaps mine, and then goes and has a child with a Filipino guy. So you've got a guy who's basically now you've gone into a cross species now. And that's the thing. Again, there's no such thing as a race unless you're in a contest. There's a genus and a species. We are lions. We are not tigers. Okay? There are only 3 different... Again, the floods were real. The floods happened. We found the ark. The only people that lived on this planet were the Caucasians of Noah, what they call Negroid. That's how it's written in the textbooks. There's Caucasian, Negroid, and Oriental. People go, people aren't Oriental, rugs are Oriental, and that's just horseshit as well. Okay, Asia, Asua, goes back to Homer, the Iliad, and Greek Western civilization. Okay, Asua were the Ionian Greeks on the Ionian coast. The west coast of Greece went over to the shores of Turkey. Okay, when the Spartans came down after this whole fucking ruckus about going in and making the Persians coming out and putting an embargo. There was basically like kind of a revolt. This again, the Antifa types back then were pulling an Antifa type number back then in Troy. This is an old tactic. This communist fucking Marxist tactic. It's ancient beyond measure. Okay, and it's just like, you guys probably don't know about that because your mother watches television and she doesn't read books. Okay, she's functionally illiterate. I mean, yeah, she can sign her name and, read paper, but she doesn't read. It's painful. It takes her time to read. I'm blind because I've read too much. Okay, I've been staring at white screens for not white, because 40 years ago they were different. They had amber screens and then they had green screens and shit like that. But I've been staring at fucking blinding white LED, LCD screens, even tubes and all sorts of the shit since 1977. 40 odd years. Okay, dude, it's just enough. It gets to be fucking old. And, having the same tactic happen. The real issue right now is that she asked for and tried to attain a position in my household. When we met, I was shooting billiards. I was out with a pal of mine. We were having a Friday night, you know what I mean? Because we were 2 nerds, and it was just like, well, we don't have girlfriends, and all right, let's shoot some billiards. We're not gay, so there's no thing. I've never kissed a man. I mean, Greeks and best friends, if you're going to see them again, you just kiss on the cheek kind of thing if you're at that level, you know what I mean? But there's not like the kind of, goo-goo eyes. Okay? So, men don't do that. That's not a thing. But I was there with my pal. Okay? Well, we're shooting billiards. Okay? That's what they do. Okay? So then I broke conversation from him because you started talking to me. Okay? And then, okay, well, you seemed like you were like as we played the game, we both kind of came back to that center table and continued the conversation through the rest of our evening. And at the end of our first evening of meeting each other, you wanted to, are we supposed to maybe go forward and are we to see each other again, or how would we do something? And she said, oh, well, actually, I got to go up to Twainhart tomorrow. She's going to go, she's not going to be in town. Oh, I got to leave town tomorrow. It's like, okay, did you just fucking troll me? You know what they would call trolling today? Did you just, fucking troll me, dude? I mean, that wasn't a word back then, but, you just sat there and spent the evening talking to me for a few hours. It seems like there's an interest of, conversation here, and it seems that we're one that's, more of, we'd like to maybe be part of each other's, personal, intimate lives. Not like just going off for the evening. I don't do that. That's not my thing. I don't do that. I refuse to do that. I don't do that. And so, like, I want to hear I love you. I don't want to get laid. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just, like, learn. I've been talking for 10, 11 hours because you can't learn somebody in, one evening, in one sitting. And so I've been trying to fucking, like, just finish the conversation of an icebreaker, really, and touch base of how it's going. But, like, again, I'm trying to finish off 5 different things here and get this video done so it's somewhat watchable. But if you do find it, well, Mitri, I tell you that, like, this probably isn't, he's probably going to watch every hour because there's nothing that I could put on. I could put 24 hours and that still wouldn't be enough. Okay? We need to be in each other's company. It's up to him. I'm not going to, try and say, you need to come here, boy. No, I'm not a redneck. I don't do shit like that. Okay, what I'm saying is, he's never going to find peace and happiness in his heart. He wants his father in his life. If he doesn't want his father in his life, it's because you poisoned him. You spit venom at him. He doesn't know any better. You erased me from his memory. And now he's mad about it internally. And, like, yeah, he's going to do good in school, but I don't know anything about how his world has gone. You hid him from me for 20 fucking years after you kidnapped him. Okay? You killed my great-grandmother. I tell you, like, you killed me, you killed my grandfather, and you killed my great-grandmother. Mitri, shove her out of the way for a second. Okay? When the night that you killed my great-grandmother, what had happened is the phone had rang, your mother had called your great-great-grandmother, my great-grandmother. Okay? My mother, if you will. The woman that raised me. Okay? The woman that nurtured me and swathed me and read me bedtime stories. Tweety Bird. I remember Tweety Bird. I did, Tom Putty Tat. She's gone. She's dead now. And there are just memories. Okay? That is what my son is feeling for you internally right now. You've stolen his father from him. You've stolen a son from a child. I don't know if you've ever read Homer, the Iliad, the Odyssey. As young boys in Western civilization, it's mandatory. It's our rule book of how to be a man. It's our guidebook. It's what we're supposed to be, when to stand, when to rise, when to sit, when to wait, what to be, how to do it, And every boy in Western civilization is taught to read and is mandatorily has to read Homer. It is mandatory in Western civilization. If someone hasn't, it's because the person is a communist. They're not civilized. It's the rules of being civilized. Again, civilized, civilization, civic is a Latin word borrowed from Greek, civis. Okay? A city. Civilization. Kiwis in New Zealand. Okay? To be civilized is to follow a Western European Greek ethos. I don't care that he's Filipino. I honestly don't care. I mean, to each his own. But you took my only and firstborn son. You kidnapped him from me. You misspelled his name. But anyway, so you don't even know who he's named for. How is he going to know who he was named for? Demitrius Ferius. Demitrius Feleros. Demitrius of Feleon. Okay? How Greek words, again, it's inflections, okay, called diacritics. But you're named after the gentleman who stalked and created the libraries of Alexandria. the Museum of Alexandria, the wealth of all history to the world at that time, and that we still carry some today, but now it's scattered around.